Thank you for joining me for what I'm more or less calling my story/spoiler run through Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is your warning that from this point forward, this video and all of the videos in this series are full of spoilers and speculation for the complete story in Rebirth, so everything we're given in-game. It will be looking at ideas and elements from Remake, as well as the original Final Fantasy VII, start to finish, so including beyond where we are in the story, the whole story start to finish of OG7. It will be incorporating ideas and plot elements from the books, On the Way to a Smile, The Kids Are All Right, Tale of Two Pasts. It will probably come up once or twice discussing Advent Children, the movie, and I will give you fair warning, it is such a convoluted story. And going back through it, for how many times I've watched other people play, I've watched my play, I've recorded these videos, as many times as I've gone through it, there's always new ideas and thoughts that I have while doing stuff, so you'll see little interruptions occasionally throughout the video, like this! And those are just, during the editing process, something I forgot to mention. I came in and thought of it, and so added it in after fact. So if those are annoying, sorry, but it is what it is. So I want these to generate discussion. I want to hear your thoughts, so please join me in the comments. Tell me things that maybe I missed. If you see something you missed, let me know. If you think I'm wrong about something, please. If you think I'm going off into crazy town, if you think I'm on the right track, great, let's talk about it. Maybe discussion will raise some more ideas. Anyway, without further ado, thank you for joining me. I love this game. Hopefully you do too, so let's get into it.
The captain filled me in. You can head on through.
As if weapons weren't enough. Now the whispers are back.
Come again? What's a whisper when it's at home?
An arbiter of fate. They appear when destiny is about to be altered, and ensure it maintains its intended course.
I thought we already changed it though.
We did, once. But perhaps now they preside over a new fate. Ours.
And that's what you get for being curious.
And so that point there, the presiding over a new fate, is sort of where I think the story has been going here. In this case, I think it's Sephiroth trying to impose a new fate. Since we know, and we'll see coming up again, that Sephiroth controls these dark whispers. And that then there's some connection, I argue that she controls, but there's some connection between the White Whispers and Aerith. And so my theory is that Aerith and Sephiroth both have their version of events that they want to make become reality and become the new canon event, if you will. And so again, I think the world that we're in is a doomed world. We just don't know it yet. And Sephiroth is trying to make it worse and make it sort of become what really happens, because he's not really pleased with the original outcome of the game. And Aerith is not especially thrilled with the original outcome of the game, I think. There's things I'm sure she would love to improve on. And so I think each of them is trying to affect things. And so this new fate that the Whispers are trying to govern is the fate that Sephiroth is trying to impose.
It doesn't make sense. How does Cissnei know about the whispers? Only we should be able to see them.
True.
Says who?
Could be a setup.
You think?
We'll see.
These are the Dark Whispers that are different than the old ones, so they could be operating under slightly different rules.
Damn. Nature came back swinging.
That's the Mako-rich land. What's good for life is great for reactors.
See a way in.
Whispers. Though not as we know them.
How you figure?
No Black Road. This Sephiroth is in Cloud's head, therefore no weapon drawn.
Let's follow him. Come on.
We must be close by now. How much longer?
We expect to arrive within the hour.
Then I'd better choose a suitable toy.
Will that be necessary, ma'am?
Of course it will. I'll make sure that it is.
More of those things. What a surprise.
Perhaps they want us to follow them.
Oh, I think they do, given the Sephi vision.
The company again, but Sephiroth? The man's been dead for half a decade.
Maybe. But he's back now.
And you'll be seeing him soon enough.
This wee adventure of ours gets stranger by the minute.
Briefly missed a mention there. I was just like, well, so who are we going to use? What do you want these weapons for? Well, we want them to fight on our side. Who are you going to use them against? Sephiroth. And might as well do a fight against Shinra while we're at it. Just a little quick moment there as Kate's trying to sort of catch up on things.
Well now, would you look at that?
You seeing this?
Now, the only problem I have with the whispers in this game, really, is the lighting. And the lighting, I don't know what it is about PS5 games and lighting. Usually it's just when I walk into a dark place from the light, it's pitch frickin' black and you can't see a damn thing. Or the white light washes everything out. But here, the lighting and the whispers drives me a little bit nuts, because there's so many times where I swear it looks like it's a white whisper. But story-wise, it makes zero sense for it to be a white whisper, and then like in the next angle of the same scene, they're like, okay, there's 3 black whispers and a white whisper. Change the angle. Okay, no, they're all 4 of them are black whispers. And so there's sometimes I'm like, I can't honestly tell, is what I'm looking at supposed to be a white whisper or a black whisper? Because there's some times where it really is just confusing. I'm like, maybe? Like here, you see a whole bunch of them, and you assume these are all the black whispers, because, you know, Sephiroth. But the lighting, a whole crap load of those things look like the white whispers, don't they?
Since the plant went offline, the whole place has been filling up with Mako. Which
Tell me I'm
means
wrong.
The planet ain't done. We were right to take out those reactors.
But this
Wouldn't
moment,
go that far.
Let's get to work.
with Kate and Barrett,
Mako here.
where Kate is not quite to the point of challenging Barrett on that yet, like he does later.
That's a replica!
Shit, how did they? You told them, didn't you?
What? It wasn't me! I swear! Ah!
I mean, it seems fairly obvious that they're here with a giant frickin' crane, Barrett.
Well, well. Mako attracts all kinds. Gnats and vermin included.
Scarlet!
Thank goodness I had the foresight to bring some exterminators.
Now, real fast there, this scene and others like it, I have a still kind of wonder who can and can't see the whispers. And when and why. Because in Remake, Rufus could see the whispers when none of the other executives seemed like they could see them. Now in this one, we have Cissnei can see them, Kate can see them. Like, any number of people have demonstrated that they can see the whispers when they didn't really have... You know, it took Aerith grabbing Cloud's hand and other things, you know, and before people could see them, there was direct contact with someone else in the story who touched you, etc., etc. And so maybe Rufus saw him because Cloud and he came in close contact. I don't know. But can Scarlet see these because of something like that happened? Or because these are Sephiroth's whispers, not the original whispers, and now we're in a whole broken fate that's operating under slightly different rules? I'm not sure. And her reaction, is either that she can't see them, or she already knows exactly what they are. She doesn't really give a damn. They're not going to affect what she's come here to do. Really can't tell. So, and I forget if there's a direct mention somewhere that would indicate that she can see them. And down he goes. Hojo's latest specimen.
Cloud.
The lighting just, like that one, looks white and now it looks black. The lighting just drives me nuts. I mean, we assume these are all black, and looks like they are.
Let me help.
You alright?
That one, obviously, Cloud already had his sword out and took a swing at him because, you know. So she's not
As amusing as this
giving
is.
any indication that she can actually see the whispers.
I have material to collect, so if you would excuse me.
So I'm not convinced that she can at this point.
Time to die. Holy!
Cannoli.
Relnicus? When did those get here? We gotta help them.
Hurry and get ready. Then meet me at the stables. Take the chocobos.
Oh, look at these cuties!
And just in case. Good idea.
Thanks.
It's a total mess inside the reactor. They should help you get around.
Especially after Cloud flooded the place.
You need to be careful. Don't ask me why, but my gut is telling me that something big is about to go down. And more often than not, it's right. Don't worry. Whatever it is, we can handle it. Yeah.
Now we climb.
Crap! We gotta keep moving! Come on!
Here we go, women to the rescue!
Hey! It's that head!
Tifa!
You alright?
Well, three of us are!
Cloud!
There's no escape.
Yeah, Red.
Who did that?
Hey, Scarlet! Remember this Wutaian savage? She's coming for your wrinkly hide!
Why not take us on? We'll go easy on you. Promise. My sweet child. Mocking a person's physical appearance is tacky and beneath me. Instead, I'll simply carve you all into pieces like this.
Now, I have one quick thing that I'm hoping for in part 3. I want to bring it up, and then we'll cut to after this fight's over with. Because Yuffie loathes Scarlet so much, and because Barrett has a bit of a grudge against Scarlet, I'm hoping that when we get to Midgar in part 3, and we're going after the Sister Ray, and we meet Scarlet and her ultimate Cloud Prod, or Proud Cloud, or whatever the hell that thing is called, I never remember, but her final version of it, I hope that the final party team for that they force us to use is going to be Barrett, Yuffie, and then presumably Cloud. Because I don't think anybody else has that personal connection to her. And so if they're not forcibly in your party just because of the way they divide up your people, I imagine that it's good that they will still be part of a cutscene. And if they're not, it will be because of my other hope for Midgar, and that's because that Yuffie and Vincent and Kate Sith are going to go take on the deep ground, while Cloud and the rest of them take on the upper plate of Midgar and go after Hojo. The downside of there is that Vincent and Hojo, that's a grudge match we need to see. So if Vincent's going for deep ground, that would have to wait until after Hojo's taken care of. So maybe Yuffie would still be available to take on Scarlet, because that fight is when you first get out of the sewers in Midgar and you come back up to the top of the plate. So there is hope for both scenarios happening. Anyway, I'll see you when this battle's over for all the lovely, lovely cutscenes we're going to get and all the talking that's going to happen for it.
Worthless hunk of...
Oh, poor Scarlet. Oh, here comes the beluga weapon. Was I the only one that thought that his head looks like a giant beluga whale? Just me, huh?
To be all mine.
Okay, yeah, so here we go. The weird thing about this whole scenario here is that...
I don't think
Oh,
so.
not yet. First of all, the fact that the rockets immediately divert themselves instead of what she was aiming at.
Eric, Yuffie, you okay? We're fine. Just go. Don't let that hag get her grubby mitts on my materia.
And so now Scarlet flies in and lands on something that clearly needs that thing to operate this crane.
Learn some manners.
No, Tifa, just stand there pointing the grapple gun a little longer.
Tifa!
Lie like the nut you are.
Alright, now this moment, of course... I know I've seen several people notice this and mention it. Just how Sephiroth-like Cloud's combat becomes here. And probably my favorite moment from it is when he just does the little head tilt with the smirk. Right here. I think I dodged the bullet with my head, you know, nothing big. And now he goes single-handed attacks, which Cloud very rarely really does. And then by the end of this, he's using it left-handed like Sephiroth.
Withdraw. Now.
Right there. Which isn't much, but still, when have you ever seen Cloud carry that thing left-handed? And our first straight-up murder stab from Cloud to another human being.
That's enough. It's okay. They're gone.
Now here we go again with Sephiroth screwing with Cloud. And I've mentioned before in previous videos that I'm wondering if long-term,
Don't let her fool
if Sephiroth is setting up these lines to use again later.
You have no scar.
not the scar part, but the "don't let her fool you," because he said that multiple times now. By the way, I love the fact that my controller's doing a heartbeat pulse right now. Fantastic. But Sephiroth is setting up that line, "Don't let her fool you," to use later when his and Genova's purposes diverge.
All right, look.
I'm not set on that option, but I think it's a distinct possibility.
Those we hate, those we love, those we fear. Genova would become anyone to fool her prey.
Because why fulfill one purpose by screwing with Cloud when you can fulfill multiple purposes by screwing with Cloud?
Don't do this.
And we've already seen Sephiroth layering his statements. He's been saying, "I'm waiting, Cloud,"
But I'm no fool.
for a long time. And it all comes down to him waiting for Cloud to give him the black materia. And I don't think we've heard the last of that line in this game. I think when we get to part 3, there's going to be at least one more of those. Because Cloud still has the black materia at the end of the game, so there is a version of Sephiroth still waiting for Cloud to give it to him. So I don't think it's outside the realm of possibilities that Sephi's going to come back with, "Don't let her fool you" in a last-minute divergence from Genova. And I also wouldn't put it outside the realm that, we're going to get a final battle, or almost final battle, at some point in the ending with Sephiroth and Cloud fighting on the same side against a version of Genova. I don't know how likely that is, but you gotta admit, that would be pretty damn cool. Because we already got to fight as Sephiroth in this, not just in the prologue, but also in the brutal, legendary, whatever battles at the very end of Chadley's simulators. So, letting us fight, and I'm sure everyone was like, "Dude, we get to fight as Sephiroth. This was awesome." They'll remember that. And like, okay, people seem to really like getting that chance to fight as Sephi. Okay, here we go. So initially, she's hearing voices of people that, from her past. My first thought on watching this was people in the live stream that are dead, but the kids' voices she's hearing, the other kids left Nibelheim and lived.
Come play with us.
So that's not what this is. But my main theory going into this section, and the main thought that I have behind it, this is not random. Tifa's not generating these images and reliving these memories from her own volition, her own subconscious, etc. These are getting her to realize something, so there's something guiding the fact that she sees these memories. And I don't think it's her own subconscious. I think it's Ultimate Aerith. Because look who we have here. The White Whispers. That are escorting them. And they get to the memories. And here come the Dark Ones, because, they're here too. But what do the Dark Ones do? They try to get in your way. One way or another. So arguably, the Dark Ones are trying to stop Tifa from getting to this point where Aerith is guiding her. And the White Whispers are trying to guide Tifa to where she needs to be and guiding her through these memories. And I think that's Ultimate Aerith, who knows Tifa very well and knows what she needs and knows what to do to help guide this forward.
Are the Whispers fighting?
Mm-hmm.
Where
And now we've seen Aerith, who I believe Ultimate Aerith can be viewed to be quite the tactician in her fight against Sephiroth here. And at the very end of the game, he even says, "I underestimated you." Him blocking, I don't know if he knows what she's after. I don't know that Sephiroth realizes just how important Tifa is in her own right, partially because of her ability to help Cloud. And Cloud is the linchpin in this entire series, in this theory that I've got and that the game is making him out to be. So, first things first, let's watch these in order. So first we go to the house. Now these are the kids, Emilio and I don't remember the other two kids off the top of my head. Emilio's the only one I remember because he was the one mentioned earlier in the game. But he's one of those boys over there.
I'm coming with you, Tifa. Me too. Not evil. Here we come. Okay then. Thanks, you guys. Hey, look. Think Cloud
And
come too?
the fact that they give us
Cloud?
almost exactly the same version of events that we got in OG7 when Cloud is in the live stream, I think means that we're not gonna get that same thing in part 3. Because Cloud going into the live stream and Cloud doing something in this to fix his brain is too important for them to say, well, we gave you that in number 2 with Tifa. No. We have to have Cloud go through something like this. And the fact that they're literally giving us the exact same events means, unless they want to go, do you remember the things the same way I do? And make us relive it that way for some reason? I don't see the purpose in that, because we already have the conversation after this that says Cloud remembers these events as well. So I don't think we need that in part 3. So instead, what I think we get in part 3 is still the live stream moment. Tifa will most likely still be involved, but I think what we're going to get is we're going to get Zack, and we may get Ultimate Aerith. Not necessarily in so many words, like we won't know that's what it is, but that's who it'll be. It'll be a version of Aerith in the live stream. And we'll get Zack, because Zack knows for sure, didn't hit his head, nothing else happened. Zack knows exactly what happened in Nibelheim. From all the events that Cloud related, and even the stuff that Cloud might have missed, Zack knows everything and can immediately set Cloud straight. Zack also knows what happened afterwards, when Cloud was semi-comatose. And Zack can help fill that gap in the main line of the story, instead of some random side thing that you can stumble on if you go back to Shinra Manor like you do in OG7. That's the only way you ever find out what actually happened to Cloud and Zack when they were experimented on and escaped, and you find out Zack's fate. You don't have to. There is no main story line that tells you what happened. You have to find out on your own if you happen to stumble back on it. So I think we're going to get that in this sequence in part 3 as part of fixing Cloud, and possibly as something to do with advancing Zack's presence and what his role is in the story. I've seen arguments that Zack is now in the real world, so to speak, the Beagle stamp world, if you will, that this hall takes place in, and that's where he ends up, is in the church at the very end of this game. I'm not sold on that theory. I think Zack is still in an alternate world, and so that he can come in and help Cloud, that a version of him will come in through the live stream, and so I don't know that Zack is in the real world yet. Not that he won't be ever. And maybe, if he is, maybe he and Tifa combined go in to help Cloud, because that would be a very Zack thing to do, to go help his buddy. If he doesn't, it's because he's going to go, Tifa, okay, I trust you you get this. I'm going to go help lead the team over to do stuff with huge materia, which is another role you could easily see Zack coming in to do. I don't know that that's necessary, though. I think him being in the live stream to help Cloud is necessary.
Just promise me one thing. When we're older, and you're a famous soldier, if I'm ever trapped or in trouble, promise you'll come and save me.
Random question. Correct me up above if I'm wrong when I'm going editing. The layout of that looks slightly off. I know we're at a it looks like we're at a different angle. That's not the corner we're used to seeing that's aimed at Tifa's bedroom. So maybe that's what's throwing me off. But something feels off about the water tower. So show a picture, and if I'm wrong, just tell me. And I'm talking to myself there. Okay, so here we get to the giant whisper battle. And again, I've said multiple times in this story playthrough and even in my main one, I think these weapons are going to evolve into the big ones we get in part 3. Because one of these guys has blue fringe, and one of them has more of a purple fringe. And so I think blue is going to evolve into the sapphire weapon, and when we see him attack Junon, he's going to have the scar from this fight with Sephiroth. And the purple one, I think, is going to evolve into the ultimate weapon.
Sephiroth?
The other thing to note on here, Tifa is now the only other person who has independently seen a version of Sephiroth that is arguably from Whispers. Because that's probably not a black robe dude floating in the live stream here, taking on his appearance. And this is not the right location, anywhere near the right location, for where Sephiroth's actual body is in the live stream. That's up at the North Crater. So this is a Whisper manifested Sephiroth, as far as I can tell, very close to like what Cloud was seeing, except this one has a weapon and an ability to attack, etc., assuming what we're seeing is real. So is this a Whisper manifested Sephiroth? Is it maybe there is a black robe dude that's just taken on the body and is down here doing this? I don't know, because this is such a unique situation here that because it's just Tifa, there's no Cloud involved, and there's so many friggin' Whispers. This is such a bizarre situation compared to every other instance of interacting with Sephiroth, real, fake, or imaginary. So I wonder, what is Tifa floating in that this actually causes the problem? Because she's clearly floating and not, in air. So I'm wondering what that does, honestly. And here it is, now watch. He cuts. This is Sephiroth. He's smiling. He's happy. This is easy. No, this is problematic. Frustration. That little moment of frustration I love. And it looked for a second like the Whisper was almost bleeding. Excuse me, the weapon was almost bleeding white Whispers. It looked like they were coming out of the wound. Okay, so I went back and looked, and there's 100% Whispers coming out of that wound. The big question, I guess, is, are those black or white Whispers? Because, as I mentioned earlier, the lighting of the Whispers, especially in this frickin' game, drives me nuts. Because on this angle I'm showing here, it looks like dark Whispers with maybe some light Whispers. A couple seconds later, you see them for just a really tiny bit, and it looks like white Whispers coming out. So, I mean, and it could be both for all I know. But, so what does it mean? Because Sephiroth very clearly attacks the weapon itself to cause this injury that then starts bleeding Whispers. light or dark. It looks so. I mean, this would seem to be an outcome he is going for. And if it's bleeding dark whispers, does that mean injuring the weapon furthers his design? I mean, if he pisses off the weapon, does that make it more likely to attack and cause destruction and spread dark feelings and anger, and more likely to attack and destroy and kill humans and stuff? That's a possibility. We're not entirely sure how much control anyone or anything has over the weapons. So, I don't know. If there are white whispers as well coming out, then possibly the injury also can serve Aerith's purposes. I don't know what that means. It's a really cool effect, but if this makes sense to you, if you've got a theory on why the weapon is bleeding whispers, please drop a comment and tell me your thoughts on that, because I'm not sure what to make of that. Not sure if I imagine that.
Stay strong, Tifa.
See, now, arguably, these are other voices from within the broader Lifestream.
You have to want it. Fight for it.
From other realities, if you will, other worlds, rather.
You need to get up now, Tifa. You can't die.
Or it could just be her subconscious, for all we know. But I mean, this is the Lifestream, is the thing.
We've got a fight to finish.
All these people.
Your words can't reach him now.
And I'm not entirely sure what this is meant to signify. Is it just that Cloud being drawn further away from them and more under Sephiroth's influence? Because by the end of the game, clearly he is. But, I don't know, it seems like more than that. And I'm not sure exactly what. If that's meant to be essentially an ultimate Cloud
down there.
that is, as I've seen some people argue for, that by the end of the part 3 we'll have ultimate Cloud, who can see across some of the realities, like sort of like he is by the end of this game. So I can see the argument. I'm not sure I buy it though. And so maybe that is Sephiroth with ultimate Cloud pulling further away, indicating Sephiroth is currently winning the fight to make this reality what he wants.
Tifa? Barret!
Coming! Hey, get your shit together. Tifa needs you.
So I've seen some people kind of question what's happening and their reaction to Cloud here. Why doesn't anybody say anything to him about it or whatnot? And I think the important thing to remember in all this is that, as far as we can tell, none of them could see what happened. And so Cloud is not a reliable narrator of his own mind at this point. So at this point, later on, Cloud says, what kind of friend pushes his friend into the Lifestream? You didn't push her, dude. You swung a sword at her and she had to dodge. That was her only option short of launching herself into you. So none of them, and I think it could have been from what fell down, could have been any number of things, but Tifa had to go quite a distance, going up on the grappling hook and all sorts of other things. So I don't think any of them were in a position where they could have possibly seen what happened between Cloud and Tifa. I don't know if Tifa tells him or not. I imagine she does. She probably tells Aerith, if anybody. And again, that's one of those conversations that would happen behind the scenes. But at this point, the only person in the party who was up there who saw what happened is Cloud, and Cloud thinks he pushed her off, maybe. If he's told them anything about it, all they know is that Cloud went up to save her, and Tifa ended up in the Lifestream. And Cloud was up on the ledge going, Tifa! Any number of things could have happened. We don't know what Cloud has told them yet. So, actually, we don't know at all. We never find out. I think they're quite the hairdo. But yeah, so you look at the blue, definitely a different color, and the fact that it's multiple colors to differentiate between them, and the fact that those colors happen to align with the colors we see on weapons, I don't think it's a coincidence. The Part 3 weapons, rather. Now, these are definitely white whispers. That look, when they go in the shadows, they look almost like the dark whispers. And again, it's the lighting just ticks me off how imprecise it is sometimes.
Tifa!
You can't have the materia, Yuffie.
Good luck down there.
Hey, Tifa, stay with us.
Okay. I know there's more scenes. Or do we just go... Oh, I guess we go straight back here. Nobody actually sleeps under the covers in Gaia, apparently. Everyone just sleeps on top of the covers and throws a blanket over 80% of their body.
I'll go get the others.
Cloud? You remember how our parents used to tell us that when a person died,
I think it's a good friendship moment for them here. The fact that Tifa can see immediately that Cloud has stayed with her probably every second since they came back.
We all knew it was a story.
And then, as soon as she's awake, he goes and gets other people, possibly not trusting
at least
himself to be alone.
Suspicions.
Probably, maybe not sure how she's going to react being alone with him.
It to be true so badly. I didn't.
And the fact that he is immediately thinking of her comfort.
Gone. Plus, Emilio and the others said they'd help me find her, so up the mountain we went.
Some help they were. Running off and leaving you out there?
So here already, they're both confirming that
you don't remember?
They have some level of the same memories from what that whole experience was.
I think it messed with my memory. Everything from around that time's a blur. I only knew what the others told me. Didn't even occur to me to question them.
What'd they tell you?
They said that you egged me on. But now I know that's not what happened at all.
Timing-wise, because I don't know, they don't really make it clear, I don't think. And I never really was 100% certain. But, so Tifa's mom passed away in 1995. And sometime soon after that was when the going across the bridge, trying to get across Mount Nebel when that memory happened. And so that was 95. In 99, Tifa got her cat, but that's sort of pointless, but that's just a timing-wise between now and then. And the water tower scene was in 2000. So that water tower conversation with them was 5 years after the bridge fell and Tifa hurt her head. So it's not real clear when she says that her memory is fuzzy from this time, whether she's just referring to right around that bridge, or if there's a little bit wider of a time there where her memory is unreliable to her. Because she was she was in a coma. She was unconscious for a couple weeks, I think they say here. But yeah, so it's 5 years between two of those scenes and that last scene at the water tower. And I had always sort of gotten the impression, in OG at least, that they were much closer together. Because in OG, it's little bitty Cloud the whole time. And you never really get a teenage-looking Cloud. You go from little bitty Cloud to full-size Cloud. And it's really hard to tell ages in, Polygon FF7 OG. This one, you can tell the difference a little bit more, but it's still not really clear, and it honestly doesn't look like 5 years worth of growth to me. So 2000 is the water tower scene, and also that same year is when Cloud leaves to go to Midgar to join Soldier. It is also the year that Tifa first encounters Zangan and starts training under him, and late 2000 is the year when Crisis Core kicks off. So 2000 is kind of a big year in the storyline of this canon.
When the rest of them ran, you were there for me. You stayed when I needed you most. If that's not a hero,
so here we get a little bit from Cloud on the moment.
I'm no hero. What kind of hero falls off a cliff with the person he's trying to save and pushes him into a pool of Mako?
Yeah, didn't push her, dude.
Sometimes I don't even know who I am.
But I like that they start including this here, considering
I forget things everyone else remembers just
and it's
fine.
well in advance of
things I've got no right knowing.
going to Nibelheim. So we're getting this doled out
It's
to
like
us.
There's different people inside of me. And the worst part is, I can't even tell where they end and I begin.
And that is, according to OG7 lore, almost exactly what has happened to Cloud. He has created this persona for himself that is a combination of his perception and memories of Zack, whatever Genova has done to him, and his original memories as being Cloud the boy from Nibelheim. And it's not really clear, again, how much of what has happened in his brain and this story and this persona that he's built for himself, how much of it is his own trauma and how much of it is Genova screwing with him, and arguably then Sephiroth. But I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't know how much of this portrayal of trauma as the ability to rewrite his identity and take on someone else's and literally forget that other person's identity just so he can take part of it for himself and build this. I don't know how plausible that is or how realistic. But with a little tweak of Genova in there, then we get to a maybe.
Go on.
Soldier cells degrade.
But yours don't.
I think that's what's happening to me. That I'm falling apart.
That's not going to happen to you.
And that certainty. Aerith and Tifa are both 100% adamantly certain that the degradation is not going to happen to Cloud. And I think it's because Aerith knows that it can't and won't, and that that's not what's happening to him. And I think the conversations behind the scenes, Aerith and Tifa, I think Aerith has told her as much as she can and as much as she knows, partially just for Tifa's sake, but I think also partially so that not all of that knowledge is locked up in Aerith's head. She wants the others to know certain things to make sure that Cloud is taken care of after she's gone. Because, always maintained, this version of Aerith knows that she's not long for the world. And she knows it, and she's willing to do her part, and she's willing to sacrifice herself for the sake of the planet and for her friends. And if she dies without telling the others, there's no telling how they'll handle Cloud at that point. Especially because there is the possibility that Cloud might actually kill Aerith. Fate is screwed up. The proper sequence of events is screwed up. Aerith can't necessarily guarantee, I don't think, that Cloud doesn't go through with it. Even if he doesn't, and we all know he doesn't, there's still the trauma from that ending and everything that's wrapped up into it that could still, something else could happen. There's any number of possibilities that could happen here that Aerith has to be able to plan around. And so I think she has, especially through Tifa, made an effort to get the information out there as much as she can safely tell Tifa about what's going on with Cloud, because Cloud is the linchpin. And if Aerith knows that she's not going to be around and able to communicate with others, someone else has to know. And making sure Tifa knows, because remember, again, I think that Ultima Aerith was guiding Tifa's Lifestream experience there. I think Sephiroth doesn't quite get how important Tifa is to getting to Cloud and saving Cloud. If he did, I mean, he clearly knows she's important because he's using the Cloud and Tifa dynamic to screw with Cloud. But I don't think he quite gets just how important she is. So, and Aerith clearly does. But again, Cloud does not and cannot degrade.
Now it's my turn.
Because he is an S-type soldier. He got his upgrades. Sorry, I love that part. He got his upgrades from Sephiroth's cells, which passing on Genova's info directly.
About little old me?
And an attempt to make a Sephiroth clone is his part in the experiment. The G-type soldiers, which is most of them, are who get the degradation. I want to say someone said that in like the French version or something, they somehow learned what Aerith said there. I don't remember what it is, so if I can find it, I'll put it up at the top. Otherwise, I don't think we're meant to know, so there may not be an option out there, and that could all be BS. I don't know.
So basically, we got some nasty-looking black whispers going up against the planet in the Lifestream. And these whispers are with Sephiroth, right?
Yeah, at least
They're with...
that's how it looked to me while I was in there.
That could have been ultimate Sephiroth manifesting.
Any idea who was winning? Could you tell?
Because he tends to be at the heart of the ginormous quantity of whispers at this point.
Well, of course we are. What did you expect? This is the planet we're talking about. Y'all know she's gonna pour her heart and soul into this fight.
And who would be strong enough to fight back against the planet and the Lifestream except friggin' Sephiroth, the real one, the ultimate one between worlds.
She knows Sephiroth ain't going down easy, and that she needs others to step up. But we're the only ones who can, don't you see? We need to commit, put our lives on the line to save hers. You in?
I see, Cissnei knows who Sephiroth is.
Bet we are.
Clearly.
Huh? Wow.
What have I walked in on? You know, there are
But
places better
probably
suited
not
to these kinds of
what they're
conversations.
talking about at this point.
Like Cosmo Canyon.
The home of planetology. It's right around the corner, isn't it?
And do they have materia there? Because if they do, I am in, like all in.
Since time immemorial, it has been a place for both planetary energies and ancient wisdom. Of course we...
Say no more! Let's ride, people!
Wow, Reg, what's got you so excited?
I grew up there.
That settles it. We've got ourselves a pilgrimage to make.
While it won't be an easy trek, this ought to speed things up. A free flyer pilot works out of an old airstrip nearby. He can take you part of the way. Use the south gate and follow the trail. You can't miss it. And I should...
Cissnei, you're awesome.
This here's Spango.
You're also
seem quite a
lovely,
liking
but
to
first
you.
and foremost, you're
Sure,
awesome.
he'd be more than happy to give you guys a lift.
Thanks, Cissnei, for everything.
The pleasure was all mine. And if you need anything else, just ask around the village.
Okay, so I think we pop on over to say hi to Cid and fly, and that'll wrap up this chapter.
You know, we should probably take a look at the town notice board. See if there are any jobs for us. Always
Gotta
fancied trying to
Listening
hand
to
us
this
a mare.
conversation between
No time
Kate
to
and
dick
Barrett.
around.
Perish the thought. I just want to pull my weight. Help my pals out where I can. I swear.
Think we can do without your kind of help, you Shinra bootlicker.
Still can't find it in your heart to trust me, eh? The way we snuggled up last night, I thought we'd made a breakthrough.
I only did that because I thought you were Marlene. Don't go making it weird.
There's not much to say about that. It's just hilarious.
Well, looks like we found the airstrip. Or what's left of it.
Yeah, it's definitely seen better days.
You can say that again. It's more crater than runway.
Are you kidding me? So we came here for nothing?
Maybe not. See that?
Oh, or a public telephone booth, eh? Worth a wee look.
Send up smoke and we'll be right with you, folks. Bronco Airlines. Seriously?
Seriously, seriously.
Guess so.
So, find anything?
Yeah, we gotta send up smoke.
Like, with a fire?
But how will we create
You've never
fire?
Heard of smoke signals? Wow. What do they teach you in Midgar?
Enough.
Well, leave it to someone who knows more than just enough. This is taking too long. But I can speed things up. Come to me, airplane! Follow the smoke! Come to me, airplane! Follow the smoke! Huh? What? Look!
I think we all know it was Aerith joining in that really made this happen.
Cue!
Well, I'll be damned.
Told you I'd speed things up. Over here!
Watch out for the giant propeller.
Bravo, sir!
They're standing a little close there.
Where to, folks?
Cosmo Canyon, please.
You talk?
One of the only people in this entire game who reacts appropriately to a giant red lab rat dog walking up to him and talking to him.
Not that I ain't seen crazier shit on my travels. Now, how many of you we got? Too many.
But not as many as you'll have one day.
The old girl likes a challenge. With hazard pay, I'd say this is fair. And since I don't have much else going on, I'll be here scratching my ass till y'all pony up.
I think I can afford it.
Much obliged. Hop on board and sit where I tell you. Gotta make sure my baby's balanced just so.
Everybody make sure you're on the same side as that big hefty fella there. Definitely don't need to make the plane actually balanced when we're loading her up here, you understand?
Hold on tight now, you hear? Fall
Seriously.
out, you're on your own.
Barrett, Red, Tifa, and Yuffie all on one side. Tell me that's balanced. Because that puts Cloud, Aerith, and the little tiny kitty cat.
No shit, kid. Who do you think I am?
I don't know. Who?
President and pilot of Bronco Airlines, Cid Highwind. Pleasure having you aboard.
Dun-dun-dun-dun. Oh, Roche.
I must admit, I didn't expect to find a willing participant. You are truly a model soldier.
His
my
unwilling
boy.
participants include Cloud. So this is
I'd
the
hold
attempt to
still if I
create
were you.
the Sephiroth
We wouldn't
clone.
want any complications.
Different than just creating,
Professor.
you know, S-type soldiers back in the day.
Since you're so committed, I'm going to give you a special treatment. One that will surely make you into a hero.
And so the ones that get the tattoos would seem to specifically be the ones where he's attempting cloning that used to take
Now it
years.
takes a mere 18 hours. All thanks to me and my singular genius.
But in something less than 18 hours, we know what happens to Roche.
It's a guiding light.
One final note here. What he's doing to Roche here is almost certainly different, or there is a difference with what he did with Zack and Cloud. Because the experiment trying to make a Sephiroth clone, which is what he was doing, if I remember correctly, in the Shinra Manor basement. That was one of his attempts at that. Was injecting them with Sephiroth DNA as part of the Genova and to create Sephiroth clones, etc. It didn't work on Zack because Zack is already an S-type soldier, which means he was injected directly with Genova DNA. And he's already gotten everything that's going to happen to him. So there were no improvements, there were no problems. Zack is as Zack is. He's not changing anymore. Cloud was obviously just a plain trooper, and so he got the upgrades, which is what transformed his body into the superior physical shape that would mirror a soldier, and eventually then the whole soldier persona took over. But Roche, we don't know for sure whether he's an S-type or a G-type. The fact that this works would seem to me to indicate that he was originally a G-type soldier, not an S-type like Zack. Although, in Crisis Core, we see Genesis, or one of his copies, literally take Zack's DNA by plucking his hair and eating it, which Zack finds appropriately gross. And that the idea there is to try and stop the degradation by giving him the DNA from Sephiroth, essentially. But instead it mutates it into something horrific, and it's not a good idea. But those were Genesis copies, not necessarily G-type soldiers. So there could still be an opening for this synergy that Hojo is going here by taking a plain G-type soldier, not a Genesis copy, but a G-type soldier, and injecting it with Jenova DNA to try and make, and whatever else he's done with it, to try and make the Sephiroth clone. There could still be an opening in the lore for that to be available if Roche is a G-type, but if Roche is supposed to be an S-type, then he should fail like Zack did, or Hojo has updated his technique and tinkered with it in the meantime. At this point, since we don't know what Roche originally was, either could be an option, and so it's really just, if we ever find out what type of soldier Roche was, then it would either be, okay, there's a way to make G-types compatible with Hojo's little cloning, Sephiroth cloning plan, and make him like an S-type, or he updated his experimentation between Zack and now to make it available so that he could use the cloning on someone who already was an S-type soldier.
Of course, we pioneers must be ready to do what others are not.
Jenova theme.
Though even I wouldn't dare attempt to improve upon perfection.
And of course, the cells he views as perfection are Jenova's cells. So this is, or arguably Sephiroth. Although Sephiroth was technically a little bit of a failure from his initial goals. Because Hojo's initial goals with Sephiroth were to give him the powers of the Cetra, which obviously Jenova wasn't a Cetra, so that part didn't happen. But he did give Sephiroth some of the powers of Jenova. So, partial success, I guess. But the purpleness of those cells would indicate that that's Jenova, not Sephiroth. Or at least, yeah. I don't know that we know the exact mixture or
Thought maybe planes would be okay, but no.
what exactly Hojo's doing now to improve things.
Hey, Cid.
Whee!
Yeah?
You not worried about flying around in the open like this? What if Shinra sees us?
Shinra don't own the skies. Shitheads couldn't stop me even if they tried.
I think you and me are gonna get along just fine.
We're getting pretty close now.
Do love this. This is just amazing getting to look around and see this from up here. That plateau in the back, I still have my questions. Or maybe that's not the plateau I'm thinking of. And here we are at the end of Chapter 9, which means it's time for me to break video real fast. So I typically cut one of these chapters in these sections. So I'll see you in just a second on the next one. Like, subscribe, and see you soon.